talk about the destruction of Pompeii, an ancient city in Italy, and this happened a long, long time ago in 79 AD. This city was destroyed by a volcano. Okay, and several thousand people did not make it because they did not heed the warnings that the volcano was about to erupt. And so they were caught and they were frozen in time forever. So it's very interesting. You can see some pictures that show how people died instantly and they were able to preserve people at the moments of their death. Okay, so it's pretty, I'm going to give you some information, and once we're done, we want to write a letter. Since this is a literacy class, we're going to write a persuasive letter to the residents of Pompeii, as if we were back in that time, warning them to leave the city, using some new vocabulary that we're going to go over, some new words that you might not have seen before and you want to incorporate. Because what we don't want to happen, okay, we don't want this to happen again to anyone. This is a plaster cast of a person. Remember, everybody died instantly, and they were preserved exactly as they died. And that person, that's exactly how, the position that they were in when they died. They made a plaster cast of the way their body made a form underneath all this ash and rock, and they were able to recreate the forms of the bodies as they. What I want you to do, you can work in groups. Let's work 3 here. You 3. Okay, almost. And you guys got a group 2, 2. You 2. Daniel, Isaac. You 3 here. And actually, you go and join up with them. Okay, you have okay, listen, please. You have a sheet here. What I want you to do is I want you to read through the sheet. You can work in teams after I let you go. I want you to highlight any new vocabulary words that you don't recognize, okay, and it will tell you about it in the reading. On the other side, there is a kind of a fill-in-the-blank crossword that you will work on in teams. You will complete, and this will give you, once you completed these 14 questions, you'll have the name of 2 other cities that were also destroyed by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius.
What did you get for the third one?
I like the way the girls are working in a group here. It's a good collaborative effort. Should be done in no time. Kevin, how you doing finding your letters, your words? Did you find anything yet? Make sure you're working together. Jasmine and Kevin, you guys work together. Orson, how you doing? You finding the words okay?
I'm going to give you some examples of vocabulary that I found, or I didn't really do it, somebody else did it. It looked good. Destruction of Pompeii already. Again, just to kind of summarize what we've looked at so far, 79 AD, the volcano erupted, and burying all of the areas, including Pompeii, Herculaneum, and the other city, Scavia, in ash. The eruption began August 24th at midday, and it lasted, how long did the video say that it lasted? 24 hours. Very good. Okay, shoots of gas and magma that rose to a height of 27 miles. This stuff was expelled up into the air. So it was huge. Miriam.
You know, like when the people die, how they stay like in the prison?
They stayed like that for, what is it, about 1,700 years. Okay, so here's a few vocabulary words, some of the things I pulled out. Interesting facts. You don't have to use these in your persuasive letter, but this just kind of shows an example of pulling vocabulary out of your reading. Vesuvius, obviously that's the mountain that the volcano that erupted. Pliny the Younger was the person who recorded the events from across the Bay of Naples, and who we have to thank for giving us a good account and a good record of what happened. Plinian, we talked about, refers to the sustained explosive eruptions which generate high altitude columns and blanket large areas with ash. Sulfur dioxide, that's one of the poison gases that erupted out of the volcano. Okay, that's the gas that was emitted. It combines with moisture and produces acid rain, which will destroy just about anything in its path, including human bodies. And another one, you don't have to use all of these. These are just examples. Pyroclastic material, another name for a cloud of ash. This is a scientific name for the cloud of ash. Lava fragments and everything that a volcano basically spits out when it erupts. Okay?
Plinian
Pyroclastic. Yeah, and again, you don't have to use these. These are just examples that I pulled out of the reading and that were interesting. So here's what I'm going to show you, an example of of using vocabulary words in a paragraph. You're going to write a persuasive letter. You can have at least one good paragraph. But here's my example. Pliny the Younger lived in Italy, and you see all my vocabulary words are highlighted. Pliny the Younger lived in Italy and wrote letters to describe his experience during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, while staying at the home of his uncle Pliny the Elder. He was across the bay from Pompeii and described what he was seeing during the eruption. He did not know it at the time, but he was seeing the cloud of sulfur dioxide and pyroclastic materials. They didn't call it that, but that's what he was seeing. He saw these start to cover the city of Pompeii. An explosion of ash clouds is now known as a Plinian eruption, after Pliny, the first person ever to try and describe one of these events. Okay? Alright, so now if I can get the lights, please.
Oh man, we have to.
What I would like you to do is take out a clean sheet of paper, and I want you to write a persuasive letter. What does persuasive mean? Yes, Karen. What's that? Convince. You want to convince the reader of why they need to get out of Pompeii. Okay, because you want to tell them that something bad is about to happen. It's for your best interest to get out of the city. Okay, so write your best persuasive letter and use at least 3 new vocabulary words that you learned about in your reading. One good paragraph a minute. Okay?